The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us and IndieWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you have to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect.
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 914, Tuesdays that we've been talking professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the social medias in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ready to get into it. We got a lot of fun stuff. We're definitely going to be talking about a bit of local wrestling today and a few other things. Of course, we'll be talking about our WWE, AEW news and everything like that. But we have, first of all, let's go to the line. Who is on the line with us this week? First of all, we have my wrestle watching buddy from the Enjoy show a couple of days ago. The Rizz is with us.
Yes, we were very close together, Sorg, watching wrestling.
Yeah, the seat next to me. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun. Like, that was. We'll get into it later. But
we'll get into it. It was a good time
fun.
and a great day for independent wrestling in the city of Pittsburgh. I have to be very specific about that. But it was still really, really, really cool. And we'll talk about that a bit. Also with me I don't think I usually call it out here, but he also does the iPhoneography podcast and contributor over on the Awesome Cast here on Sorgatron Media Network. Dave Podnar is with us.
Glad to be here, Sorg. Glad to be here. Sweltering. So since I don't have central air in the house and only have a fan,
oh no!
If it gets any hotter, we may turn into Mayhem After Dark.
Oh, here we go. Thankfully, the studio is well central aired, to the point where I like spending more time. Good thing I already spend most of my time at the studio because I would be hiding here anyways from the heat. And also with us, promoter, podcaster, retired professional wrestler. I don't think we've had you on this show, but I feel like I have because we've done so many streams on the old Fight Underground project. What's that? We have. Okay, I'm confused. Bubba Brewer is back on the show then.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, and I'm going to stay a retired professional wrestler.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Yes,
Are you sure about that?
I am very sure. Very sure. Very sure.
It's good to have you back on the show. I know you got a really big show coming up this Sunday that we're going to be talking about here in a couple segments. EC3 is going to be there, and it's a really cool venue. I know we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, and I'm just going to pick your brain and figure why the hell did you decide to do this again in a little bit here.
Because I'm crazy.
Welcome to the club. So let's get into some wrestling chatter. Of course, a big weekend. WWE got on a plane again and went to Scotland for the first ever big PLE event in my foreign geography people grumble. It's country of Scotland, I believe is how we say it, right? Country?
Well, Sorg, no, it is. Scotland is a separate country inside the United Kingdom.
Yes.
However, there was Clash of the Castle last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you said it was the first major PLE,
that was in Wales. That was in Wales, though.
Was that
this
Wales?
is the first one that's ever been in Scotland, specifically.
Okay.
So, so that's
my confusion.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Really big show. Not as big. I feel like it was an arena last year. I'm sorry, it was a stadium. It felt like last year. I thought it was a 1,000-seat arena. Not that you could tell by the volume. I caught this early in the show during Sami Zayn's entrance. You saw on the Tron a little audio noise meter, and they started showing it during I think Drew's entrance, right? And you can tell, like, you know, we've done live productions. Rizza, I think you've been a part of these with me, where it's so loud. I'm like, I can't tell how well the audio is because I literally cannot hear through my headphones what is going on, and the noise is just creeping over, no matter how loud the commentators are, and you're trying to make sure they're not peaking and the crowd's not peaking and all this kind of stuff. Like, that feels like where WWE is. It's very similar to what we had just. God, it feels like last month, but I guess it was April, maybe. No, it was May, where they went to France for this. Like, it's incredible, that energy that they're having. I said while I was watching this, and I'm watching it kind of in pieces as I can here over a busy weekend of travel, and I'm just like, I'd be okay if WWE just does like the majority of their PLEs, their big shows, in the UK, in Europe in general at this point, right? Because I just the audience is such a character, such a part of this, and brings so much energy to this, and I feel like now the American audience kind of compete. I can't remember the last time we had
to step it up. So.
Right. When's the last time you had a dead American crowd? Like, I can't remember. Like, Corpus Christi usually isn't that hot like they were last night.
Like, I seeing what I saw last night, like that crowd on Raw was silent for most of the night. And then you go back to Saturday, where no matter what happened, it was just dominating sound, like cheering, the excitement that wrestling should bring, especially in WWE. Like, you need that big fight feel, and that was a big fight.
But do you guys think that American fans are spoiled, so the overseas crowd is more into it, more intense, and the soccer cheers are just mind-boggling to me because they can do it all night?
Yes. Well, I think it's partially the soccer cheers, where you watch people in Europe watch soccer, which is not. It can be exciting at times, but it's long and there's no breaks.
So so they have stamina. They have a marathon audience mentality.
Literally, each half in soccer is 90 minutes without breaks. There's no time. There's not. I think there's maybe one timeout, and substitutions. But it isn't like they punted away, so let's go to a 5-minute commercial break now, and then we'll be back. In this game that's an hour long takes 3.5 hours, like football or baseball or whatever. They're used to sitting and watching something continuously, and it's also the newness, And how long was the show? Was it 3 hours?
3 hours. It was 3 hours. Again, I'm watching it after they've taken out all the stuff, but it was like 3 hours and 1 minute on the Peacock replay.
So it was around. It was around as long as watching a Raw.
Yeah, basically, right.
5 matches. With 5 matches, all
day. 5 matches. Yeah. But man, every one of those matches had time, and man, even like something like I feel like a couple months ago, a Rhea Ripley match was happening, and it felt like nobody cared, even though everybody loves Rhea Ripley. Like, it just didn't play. You had that with everything and everybody throughout the night. We're out of the let's throw a women's match out there for everybody to cool off. There's no cool off period on these PLEs. The way they're booking these are like, they're not shoving a bunch of people in, which means, doesn't that mean there's less time? I don't know, Bubba. You may know a couple of things about running a show. So you have five matches. So now if somebody runs long, you can't drop a match. You can't cut like 20 minutes.
Well, when you have 5 matches, they can tell a story.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Cody and AJ, that story was magnificent. So they had every match could tell a story and can go as long. They didn't have to cut anything out. The only thing they might have cut out was that ladies tag match. Jade, I love her to death, but man, she's got a lot of work to do.
Sure. But hey, she's in the right place to learn it, right?
Yes. Yeah. She is. But I mean, she did tap out.
Wow.
She did.
Wow. Yeah. WWE will humble you. So
just ask Chad Gable.
Yeah.
The question is, can we ask Chad Gable at this point?
No, he's dead.
He's dead.
We'll get to that in a moment. But I want to stay on the class.
I'll say this with Jade. The one thing, and of course, this is coming from someone who's never been in the ring, not a wrestler. The one thing that she missed by not having Indy and all the undercards before she became a superstar is oh shit, something bad happened. I now need to think on my feet and recover. That most people get wrestling in front of a few hundred people.
Yeah.
Not on TV. She didn't have that opportunity. And for training, I don't think you literally have that opportunity of, I slipped. It happens.
Yeah.
Now that I slipped, how do I fix this without me thinking like, how do I think this? No, sorry, go ahead, Rizz.
And you can see even like that same night, AJ Styles had the issue with doing the forearm. Where he slipped on the rope, but it actually worked, and he made it work. And I think that goes back even further to where he was in the Bullet Club and he was doing King of Trios, and there was a spot there where he slipped in night 1, and then every night after that, every match I think after that, there was some sort of thing where he's checking the ropes. He's like trying to jump on the ropes, and they're telling him not to. I think that you can't really.
It's the improv. It's learning the improv and have the instincts to do that. Yeah. No,
you can't train.
And that's been stated before. I think Cody talked about it. Like, you can't get better if you're not doing regular shows. And if you're only
on the fly.
Yeah.
If you're on the fly.
Yeah. And if you're only on, like, 'cause these guys kind of get brought up and they're only on Dynamite, a couple times a month. And that's one of the reasons I think they were trying to do like Dark and all these other things, and now Ring of Honor again it's kind of a reps machine because they don't have house shows like WWE does. Like, there's a lot gets worked out on those house shows. It's not just it is beneficial because you have more, you can sell more tickets and more merch in more places, but it is also they work stuff out. I don't know how many times you've been to house shows where you're literally seeing a match that they then have on Raw or a pay-per-view. They're literally working out and rehearsing the match in front of a live crowd to see how it works. And making adjustments. So like you do have that, especially somebody like Jade. I've talked to promotions about like, hey, Powerhouse Hobbs, he needs to go more places and learn how to do this. Right. And that's why, there was a really good relationship and at least the attempts of building one with AEW and a lot of promotions until they started to do shows on Saturday night. So, but you do see that, we do see Lee Moriarty out and about. We see Lady Frost at a bunch of shows, they're doing on that level, and
those two are making everybody look like superstars though. Those two, Frost, Lee is making everybody look like a superstar when they're in the ring with them.
And not
all the time.
You know what? I thought about that too, because I watched the one where Dante went over Lee to get into that ladder match for the TNT belt at the next pay-per-view. And I was like, you know what, man, Lee's been losing a lot, but Lee is like, he's not losing for losing, same with Frost, same with a lot of, like, they don't, in WWE doesn't seem to do this as much anymore, but I felt like they would just bury the crap out of people, and it just felt like, well, this guy, this guy's nothing. Like, you feel like at any moment, Lee or Frost or a lot of those people can just like turn back around and be a real competitor, if not the champion, right? Like they're just they're still so strong looking in everyone. Nobody gets squashed. unless you're absolute jobber, and they usually bring like the absolute no names out on a Collision to just destroy in 2 minutes, if they need to do that, right? And that's fine. Like, I think I like squash matches in the middle of my shows, right? Like, I think it's needed. I think it's hey, just remind you these guys are still here,
it fits
and they're
a
dominant.
purpose.
Yes.
It fits a purpose, guys, if it's done right.
Yep. Absolutely, and then that doesn't happen too often anymore
No.
in WWE. I mean, I guess main event still exists in the next level and all that kind of stuff. Level up, I guess, NXT level up.
Yeah, level up.
Yeah,
but that's even, maybe figure level up is a step below NXT.
Sure, but it's still, that's for everybody coming up through there, because that's like your Jades and Powerhouse Hobbs on their way up are getting that in front of camera time, right? In front of a crowd. And doing that. So some people could, I don't know, I haven't paid enough attention to level up to know how long do they kind of stick around there before they kind of move up and things like that. So, but it's very interesting. Clash was incredible.
Except for the ending.
How? Oh, no, okay. Okay. So let's get to this before we get to our first break, and we'll come back and talk about the Wyatts a little bit. I did not watch it live, so I had an awareness of what happened, and I watched it back, and I wish I saw it live with everybody else, because I noticed how they shot it. How referee comes in, he's counting, we don't see who it is, and there's the pause and turnaround. Oh my God, it's CM Punk. Which of you guys watched it live, and how did that come off? How did that come off live, and the realization of that?
Well, I watched it on a replay, and it still come off on a replay. As soon as he turned around, I was very upset.
Okay.
So I'm a big Drew fan, and he's got screwed twice, and I think he's great for the company. I think he come a long way, from leaving the company to doing what he did, and he keeps getting screwed, and it's great storyline, and it makes me hate CM Punk more and more now after that.
So mission accomplished.
They reeled you in.
Yeah.
The question is, so like I said, what Punk did was complete heel.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the home country of the person he screwed over. The question is, when Punk SmackDown's in Chicago this week, right? What kind of reaction is Punk gonna get?
Well, he's a Raw guy, though. They got to make him pop up in Chicago, though,
He's
right?
a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
They said he's
going to be on SmackDown. They
did announce it. Yeah.
Well, Drew quit. Did he quit, or did he just quit Raw?
He quit enough time to actually screw over CM Punk when it happens.
Yes,
I can't wait.
So
well, and also with the NXT Battle Royal tonight. Okay. Is there a chance that on the next TNA taping or the next TNA show, Drew Galloway shows up? I mean, I would love it.
Again, TNA people on TNA social media. You deserve a fucking raise.
Hold on, let me look at this. What's happening?
Like, as soon as he quit, he left. They posted the video of his return on TNA.
What?
From 2015.
Like 2015.
2015 return, yeah. And then you realize, my God, in the last 9 years, Drew has gotten massive. I mean, thick massive. Where he came back to TNA, he was tall, but he still had that thinnish body compared to now.
He goes back, he's beating Moose in about a minute and a half. I hate to say it. I'm pro Drew. 100%. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, and honestly, I could see Drew if he goes back. I could see him unofficially just beating the shit out of everyone, just uncontrollable rage.
He'll take my money if he does that.
Oh yes, yeah.
Well, don't we kind of get into the what is it? Was he the Scottish psychopath for a while there as Galloway? Like, is this a lean into Full Tilt?
Oh, I hope so.
Scottish psychopath, like he's alluded to it before in some promos.
He was grabbing everybody after the match. He went up to Wade Barrett and he was going off. I mean, he was going off on a lot of people. So he's angry. His wife was in surgery and she wasn't over there, so he was worried about her. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was going on in his head, and he got screwed over twice because he got screwed over by Roman, and now he got screwed over by CM Punk.
But,
you know, I'd be a little tired too.
But have we checked on Drew's cat?
The cat was not feeling
good.
You are
updated? Is the
correct.
cat doing okay?
Yeah.
Because if the cat is also not doing okay, now I'm worried about him. Sorry, there's a sidebar where Katie has been talking to me about how, always gives her roommate updates about Poncho the cat at Stone Cold's Ranch, and now there's the Drew has the cat, and there's updates about that too. Wrestling cat culture is real, and is very drama filled apparently. If you see
cats are
Stone
crazy.
Cold's.
I have 2 of them in the house.
Right,
Believe me.
Right, I haven't
They can open doors. They can do a lot of stuff.
You sure that's just not a roommate or a kid or
I'm
something?
telling
I just well, anyways, we'll get into
part of the problem is Drew did delete all his social media.
Oh, did he? Oh,
after he quit, all the social media went away.
Like deleted.
And that was perfect. That was just also so perfect.
Oh man, good on that. Real quick before we get into some shout outs here in the chat room, Tina's saying as far as we were talking about audiences before, she's saying Berlin has to step up in August at this point. I don't know what a German crowd's going to be like to begin with. I just know I won't understand the chants. On Monday you could tell that Priest still had a limp, so it sounds like he was some legit. I could have still been selling too because they were.
No, that was. I tell
real?
You what, I've never seen that ever happen ever.
What did he get taken on?
He tried to do a kick and he ended upside down and he was tied up into the ropes.
Oh jeez.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
It was bad. And I give him all the credit doing that against Drew on one leg. And even though I was pulling for Drew because Damien just doesn't move the meter for me right now, but that match he proved something to me. And that was bad. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, he was upside down for a long time,
like 3 to 4 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. And it was right. It was his lower leg ankle just kind of smashing down on it, and the first thing I thought of is like torn ligaments.
Yeah.
I would also shout out to Drew on getting him back in the ring, helping him get back in the ring in character.
Hey, these are the top of pros, man. You know, so
yeah.
Also, Tina from Seattle says I could tell it was Punk by the shoes. Yeah, who has red shoes other than that one guy?
Red shoes?
Other than red shoes.
His name is Red Shoes.
His name is literally Red Shoes. I'm like, oh my god, did Red Shoes show up in WWE? The Forbidden Door is open. Let's see. Alex in California says Drew's taking time off to help his wife who just had surgery. That would make sense and play into the story. So that's good too. And a lot of people are agreeing. Tina says, I mean, Ace Steel's now in TNA. So it would just show up and bite him. Anyways, so we got a lot of great conversation here. We are live every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time on everywhere we can possibly stream. Facebook seems to be the liveliest of chat usually, but we are on the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Also, YouTube, the Sorgatron Media Twitch. We do pop up on the Instagram for Wrestling Mayhem Show. We're on the IndieWrestling.us YouTube, Indie Wrestling Network as well, and over on those Twitches as well. So however you like to view us here on, want to join us live, be part of the conversation. We try to keep an eye on all the chat rooms as much as we can. And of course, we are on podcast platforms afterwards by Wednesday morning if you want to just catch that there or watch the replay on any of those video platforms. So want to give a shout out to our friends as I'm adjusting to this new dock management here. Our friends are supporting us at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show, including our friends. We actually have a new thing. If you're on Patreon and you're listening to us right now, you may have gotten a notification already. We're trying this out tonight. I'm hoping this will be an ongoing thing. We are going live early on a separate stream So you can hear us BS. You can hear how I was confused because everybody showed up and I didn't think anybody was here. And they were all just stalking me as I was listening to my podcast about hoarding, apparently, on a feed over there on Patreon. And also, we're just going to stick around. And now you can watch the Patreon recording live with us after the show. And even the chatter that we don't catch on that as we're closing the show, as the videos are playing, as the intros are playing. You'll hear the count-ins. It's all the behind-the-scenes stuff on that video feed as well. So stay tuned into that if you are a Patreon supporter. And the people that can do it as low as $1 a month, you can tune in there. Our friends, let's give a shout out to our friends that do support the show at the fan of the show level. Diggity! Woo! As well as Team Hammer Fist in Florida, the Tupac family, our friends in the crowd at 880 Wrestling, and brand new Megan Nelson is on the Patreon. Thank you for supporting, and I saw you out there in the chat room, Megan. Good to see you this past weekend at Enjoy as well. At the Poppy Club level, Dave Podnar, spouse of Roost Julia Fair, roostjuliafair.com, and Rats in a Trench Coat, Tony Kincaid. At the Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy, The Rizz, and at the manager level, Bradley, who has definitely given me feedback, and I'm sorry, Bradley, I didn't respond to your chat room, I think last week or the week before. He was really sorry about that, so apologies for that. Thank you, everybody that is supporting the show. You guys support the show, get the extra content at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show.
This is bad.
Whoa, what's happening? What's going on, Rizz? What's going down? Is it more stuff between Violent J and CM Punk that I don't understand?
Check your Twitch. This is...
Check what?
Twitch now has the Gigantify button.
Gigantify?
Yep.
Where?
And I'm using it.
Which chat are you in?
What does that mean to a guy like me?
So,
it's not a Hims commercial.
Yeah.
Twitch is not a Blue Chew.
Well, I have Twitch, but I only have one person, so I don't know what a hand thing is.
Hold on, I got an ad.
The Gigantify button is like, it'll allow you to here, I'll show it.
Because I'm probably the oldest guy on this panel.
Hold on, which chat are you talking about, Rizz?
I'm on Indie Wrestling US right now.
All right, wait, I'll pull it up as soon as this ad goes by.
That's okay.
Hold on, Geico commercial.
Do you see the chat room right now?
I see the chat room. Hold on a second, and we'll I'll pull this live. So they're going to get a little bit of feedbacky video here. So I'm in here. You already got your Great Khali emoticon in there. And then what happens with the Gigantify?
2, 1.
Wow, you made it bigger.
Is that me? Who's that?
That's the Great Khali. He made an emoticon for the Great Khali that he uses every time.
Every time.
Oh no! Oh no! Now we're getting picture in picture. Now we're getting picture in picture.
It gets even better. It gets even better. It gets even better.
What? Can you make it even bigger?
No.
No, you mean the picture in picture? It's getting even better.
I mean, let me see if I can find a good one. Here it is.
Like a Doctor Who episode.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah. You redeemed an on-screen. Oh, it's all the Great Khali's all over the screen. Oh no! This is why you need to follow the Twitch at IndieWrestling.us. Apparently, look at him go, and it's all. And there's even more because it's picture in picture.
Oh my goodness!
It's Rizzception. Oh man!
By the way, follow Rizz and subscribe to Rizz Plays Games and get that lovely Great Khali
that's right
emoticon.
That's right. And you will be I believe you're going to be playing a game tomorrow night on the feeds. I don't know which feeds you're going to be on. Sorgatron Media, Awesome Cast. I might just send it everywhere just because you're going to play Little Kitty in a Big City. Is that the game?
Little Kitty Big City.
Little Kitty Big City. So when I saw Stray popped up on Switch, they just announced today. So
that sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon.
It really does.
It looks like it though. It actually looks like it. So
or some other cartoon that's probably not on Saturday mornings. I don't know.
You guys should just talk about wrestlers' cats during the stream, and then we can put it on Mayhem Show. That'll be the link.
We'll make a tier listing.
We'll make a tier listing of wrestlers. You need Padano, Selena Vega and Aleister Black's cat.
Mr. Money, of course.
Mr. Money, yeah, okay, yeah. We'll
go
to
Mr. Money.
That's that's your preview of the stream. Look for the video streams tomorrow, Wednesday night, for whatever goes on there. The Wyatt 6, Actually, our we got a call to action here. We've been doing the last couple of weeks here in the corner. Hashtag WMS914. You guys can let us know in the chat room what you think of it. How sick are the Wyatt Six? That promo at the end, a promo sequence. Wow, wow. Just straight murder in WWE apparently.
It was great.
Geez, it was nuts. So for those the quick rundown is that we had the piano, we had the door, we had I presumably a Sister Abigail come out. We followed the camera back, and we were introduced to the rest of the characters: the Rabbit, the Buzzard, all the way down to Uncle Howdy. As we had Braun, we had Chad Gable, Triple H, and all the staff in the back were taken out.
Is Triple H taken out?
He was on the list when I was reading the article. I couldn't tell because it was really dark on the thing that I was on the TV I was watching to make anybody out. But of course, somebody's going to analyze everything. And probably has a better TV than I do.
Because I know Braun went that way chasing Judgment Day. So,
but
Hayes was on that thing too. But
Hayes was there.
He posted. And he's like, "No, I'm still alive. Thank you."
The ad looked like head blood splatter on the wall behind the one guy. Gable looked
Chad
like
Gable had almost like a bullet hole in his head.
Yeah,
Let's splatter against the wall. Yeah,
it was wild.
And he just signed too. It's amazing.
Yep. Yeah. It was nuts.
It was awesome.
So. Holy crap! They're doing it. It looks like it's going to be bigger and better than ever. I'm really interested to see how they. But I guess the question is, how does this play off? You can do these. This is the thing with Wyatt, and it was the question that we always had until we got in the ring to see how things go. And it did mostly work out aside from that red light era. But how does this translate into the in ring? Right, because eventually somebody needs to have a wrestling match with these characters, right? And you do have more to play with. You have presumably, we think, behind the mask I
would say we're relatively sure on who.
Yeah,
who is
Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, Rowan.
Eric Rowan,
and Joe Gacy.
Yeah. So, and of course, Bo Dallas behind Uncle Howdy. Did you notice there's a little difference in Uncle Howdy's mask this time? He's got a little bit more cut out.
He has a mouth
kind of
hole.
situation. He has a mouth hole.
Yeah.
Well, the entire the Batman cut off.
Yeah.
He's got a whole chin thing going on. So I'm interested to see how that goes. How does that roll into next week? We've had these teasers and glitches, for months at this point. But first, great introduction at the very
They're going to be cheered, and it killed everybody, and everybody loves it. So that faction is just a face faction coming to. The action figures are going to sell. The merchandise is going to sell. Yes. It is going to be super huge. I just hope they let Bo Dallas be Bo Dallas, because Bo can actually wrestle.
Yes.
And he's very talented. So I think he can shine. And hopefully he gets a great opportunity. And I'm sure he was a little nervous from what I read. And expectedly so. And he hit it out of the ballpark last night.
It really is. I mean, it's something that, and this is everything from their minds to the planning to the production. These new minds that are behind the production right now have just been phenomenal. A lot of these follow shots they've been doing, and trying different stuff. And sometimes it doesn't work out. I thought the guy going around the ring shooting through the ropes was kind of weird the one week during a women's match, right? It's like, it's all the stuff I tell people not to do in training. Riz probably feel me yelling in the headset while I watch that segment, for instance. But it was still like so like they're for all those kind of little misses and tries that they're doing, like they're hitting this stuff out of the park. So how do you think this is going to translate to a promo in ring? You got to treat it so special and different like you did with Bray.
Well, I think they're going to do stuff like they did before with this Hollywood type movie type angles and how they're going to carry that. It looks good. They were at the end of Raw. They were getting a standing ovation and they were getting cheered when they were going back to the curtain. So if it's done right and everybody's on the same page, it could be very lucrative. And I think it's going to be done right because it's been taken slow to build, and I'm okay with that. I'm good. I'm good with the long stories.
Yeah. And I can see like honestly, I believe the reason why they got that is because of the people that are in this group, like the people that haven't gotten that push, or even Bo and Eric, who have lived through fucking hell the past few, like 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 especially Rowan. Like I've felt so good to see him there. Like so good to see that, like, implementing the hammer, implementing the skull mask of Harper as the bunny mask. Like that was attention to detail that was just mind blowing. But like I want them to succeed because like they deserve a whole hell of a lot more than they got in the past. Especially like Nikki Cross and Loomis.
And I feel like the entire thing is just going to be a massive heartfelt from everybody involved there, and again on the production side, on the writing side. I feel like it's going to be a giant heartfelt dedication to Bray and what he brought to this, right? I mean, this is, we don't know how much, but presumably there's pieces of this were from, what he was planning for a comeback, right? So obviously it's not going to be 100%. They're taking the ball and carrying it, and I'm sure adapted it and everything like that. And that's really nice and really special that they get to do that, right? And they are doing this, and it does seem weird, at first. Going into this, I'm like, man, how is this going to carry? They're going to do Bray without Bray, and kind of thing. But again, I think the company, or at least the people behind the company right now, are behind the idea more than previous may have been. So I'm hoping, and it's not going to be perfect.
Are they going to add 2 more characters, though? Do you think? Because I'm surprised that Braun Strowman is not a part of this. I'm sure they're going to do something later on, and then Bliss is going to be around the corner. So I mean, this thing it has a lot of traction that could keep going for a long time.
Yeah. And right now, they're officially. I think it's been said the Y6. Like, wasn't one of the graphics or something that specifically?
SICKS 6.
Yeah, it's a weird spelling. It's a weird spelling.
Okay, and obviously I didn't get it on the graphics, so
yeah, that's okay. So I kind of agree with that, and then I also think, like, you have Howdy, you have Loomis, you have 5 like physical people there. But I think, and we actually mentioned this in the Mayhem Show Facebook message board or messaging thing.
The Facebook message group for the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Yes, that word. That maybe the 6th member is Bray. Like maybe that lantern is Bray.
Like
you could be right. Yeah. You could be right.
And then it's like his spirit is in there, like the Undertaker's urn. Like something like that.
That's oh my god, I get the wrestle chills. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sir. I love it.
Internet, you're welcome.
We all got that now. No, I think it's gonna be really fun to see where they go with this thing. I'd be worried about if it was 2 years ago and they were doing this kind of thing with this weight on it, but just that WWE can't do wrong right now. They're just on all cylinders, and they're not. Again, don't expect it to be perfect, but I think they've done this enough. They've done a version of this enough to really kind of step it up now.
Even if they have a hiccup on the road, they're still coming on full cylinders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now the question is: are they Raw only? Will they show up on SmackDown?
They could show up anywhere. NXT,
Mm-hmm.
any
Mhm.
company, TNA, anywhere.
I love TNA as an option now.
No, I mean this Forbidden Door
Yeah.
is great. They can go anywhere, and they should, because they are the ultimate faction that we've never seen before. So they should go to any company and do what they did
And
last night.
It's so funny because we're like everybody can show up at TNA now, and then like literally all we've gotten was like what's her name, Paxton Paisley or whatever showed up
Yeah.
at the last show. God, do I really need
Also,
do I really
you
need to
have-
sign up for TNA Plus at this point? Man, are you guys really gonna make me do this? I'm trying to rally this brand, get less of these. But
Also, you just have to hear the, like, I don't know if you were watching it,
Mm.
the pop for Joe Hendry.
oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, the Joe Hendry is the reason I need to sign up for TNA Plus. Actually,
No,
So-
no, not on T. I say, not on TNA.
Yeah, on NXT.
NXT tonight.
Really? Wait, what?
Yeah, he was. It was that Rumble thingy, the Battle Royal
Uh huh.
Mhm.
for the number one contender spot. It was between. It had WWE, it had WWE, had NXT, and it had TNA Peak Boy.
No. Okay. All right. Okay.
Kaz was in it, and Joe Hendry got his own entrance.
wow.
Yes, and sing along.
And the
And sing
pop.
along.
And sing
And promo.
along. Oh,
And
And he
promo.
got
Oh, and promo. Yeah.
Mhm.
if WWE's just gonna buy TNA at this point, right? I mean, it kind of
Eh,
you kind of makes
Why?
sense.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems like
The catalog.
Why spend the money?
I don't know. They got enough, right?
Yeah.
Put
so-
Dixie in the Hall of Fame. Let's go.
Put what?
Put Dixie in the Hall of Fame already.
Put Dixie in the Dixie Carter in the Hall of Fame. Maybe her nephew will pop up too. I don't know. We'll talk about her nephew in a second.
No.
But
Also, in the Facebook chat,
Mhm.
I'm putting a link for the Shop WWE for the Wyatt 6 shirts.
Okay.
That is, they really put money into the graphics there.
Mhm.
You know, they didn't put just Wyatt 6 on it. You know, you definitely know you got a wrestling shirt or a group shirt there.
Yeah,
It almost looks like a band shirt. You could almost make it
I like it.
with the logo. Yeah. And someone mentioned that Uncle Howdy had the red ring in his hat.
Mhm.
There were red dreads, one red dreads for Mercy, I think. So there was that red color kind of going throughout the different characters.
Mm,
Like you said, it's the details. It's the details.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, a lot of cool stuff going on with that, but and also a lot of really cool stuff going on in indie wrestling as well. IndieWrestling.us. We have the Indie Wrestling Network, as well as the membership, the ringside membership, and standing room only over on the YouTube page for IndieWrestling.us. Of course, there's a lot of free content. Our friends at 880 Wrestling every Thursday night. That's our training shows. We're training. Not only their wrestlers are training, but
I switched.
Riz ran the show. Yeah, I
ran a
heard
show.
about this. I was in
I don't know
Michigan last
why.
week, and they're like, Riz is on the switcher. I'm like,
Sorg
why?
makes me-
Why
Sorg
the
made me press
hell?
buttons.
No. I didn't make you. I'm like, Missy, why is Riz on the switcher? And he says, I asked, and he said yes. I asked if
I
he
said
wanted
sure.
to, and
I
he
was
said
like, yeah,
sure.
why
Like he
not?
says, like Riz says sure to everything he shouldn't, and that's what
Exactly.
and
That's
what
the
happened.
that's the
See,
problem.
Dreams do come true at IndieWrestling.us. All you have to do is come to New Kensington. Sorry.
Mhm.
And of course, big shows this past weekend. RWA had their Unleashed show. That was crazy. I got to see at least the first bit of it. I had some other stuff that I was literally
There were
running.
secrets. There were secrets.
I heard
passed
there's a
along.
note that was passed.
There's a note. There's
Ooh.
multiple notes.
Multiple notes passing. It's like high
Um,
school again.
There was a hit. It had everything.
Everything. I heard there was a visit to the Ryan Edmonds Memorial Concession Stand.
Yep.
General, again, I need to watch this show back. It is up on the streaming platforms at least.
It was
if you're on the
super,
network on the
super
YouTube.
uncomfortable.
It
there.
was what?
It was warm.
It was
It was-
oh yeah. So without the sweat, Unless you also don't have air conditioning, you can go check it out at your leisure over IndieWrestling.us. Also, 2PW Lebanon Dunn Enterprises presenting Pay Your Respects this past weekend as well. That show I did watch the majority of, trying to do some social media and helping out with the tech on that. You can check that out. Again, that's also on the YouTube and the Indie Wrestling Network. It'll be on the VOD and DVD offerings here very shortly. But that was another wild night there. Great crew at 2PW as well. John McChesney, a part of that as well. Women's Wrestling returned to 2PW. Katie Arquette against the debuting Ava Brooks. Was great in her first showing there on debuted on her 18th birthday.
Nice.
In that promotion. So keep an eye out for that and everything going on there. Of course, there'll be clips here in the future on the YouTube of that. But in the meantime, the only way to see it is on IndieWrestling.network and IndieWrestling.us's YouTube page. So go follow that and a lot of great action. VCW coming back next week. And actually, we should be premiering VCW's last show for free on all IndieWrestling.us platforms. We're angling to do that this Friday night, the 5-Day Fridays that had Sam Adonis on the show, Super Oprah, Congo Kong was on that show. It was a tremendous show going on down there from back in, I guess, as Memorial Weekend that we did that show. So look out for that coming out on the streams. There'll be an announcement about that shortly. And I can tell you there is a brand new promotion. Well, they've been around for a few years that will be joining IndieWrestling.us in days, hopefully. We're actually processing the footage and right now to upload and everything. So it will be part of your subscription at IndieWrestling.network and YouTube. So look out for that. And a lot of familiar faces are going to be a part of that. It's going to be very, very, very cool. So I'm really glad to see that we are expanding that and looking to put some new content on those promotions. So IndieWrestling.network, IndieWrestling.network. Go check it out. I'm going to drink some more coffee, and we're going to talk with Bubba Brewer about what is going on this weekend. Bubba, you are a God. You're doing everything.
Well, before I start talking about myself, I just want to say what you just talked about. Independent wrestling in Pittsburgh and around the area is the best and hottest I've seen. And I've been around here since the mid-90s, and I was in Florida when the wrestling around here was getting talked about down in Florida about how it wasn't as good as it is now. And my hats are off to everybody that's doing stuff, and that's what I like to see. I like to see everybody getting along. I like to see these companies working with each other. It just brings a different flair and a positive message to anybody that Pittsburgh wrestling, Central PA wrestling is very hot and very, very well done. And they're running shows every week and they're packing the houses. And my hat's off to Enjoy. I didn't get a chance to go see it, but from what I heard, my hat's off to them and congratulations. So that's what I wanted to say before I start talking about my stuff.
Yes.
But I like what's going on here. That's what I'm all about anyway. And that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because there's been a lot of stuff in the past that it wasn't like this. So,
and we'll talk about Enjoy here. What I learned is going to be the spoilers are going to be about what Enjoy Wrestling and what was accomplished this past weekend. But so let's talk about you first of all. Before we could talk about the promotion that's happening, I want to get a little background. If it's the first time people were checking, and didn't check out last time you were on, or anything like that. And of course, I think it's been a good bit. So I want to talk about your background briefly, at least. You can give us the highlights here. You do have a history. I love we were talking about the arena, and you were like, yeah, I wrestled Nikolai Volkov in this arena that we're going to be in this week and everything.
Yeah, I wrestled Nikolai, beat him in a Russian chain match. I wrestled the late, great Virgil, who spray painted NWO on my back against when he tagged up with the Freebirds, Kato and Dr. Feelgood at the time. They pulled in a limousine. So there's some little bit of APWF history coming back to the S&T Bank Arena.
Absolutely. So you're out of the game, but what we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago. Why the hell are you doing this again?
Well, I like I said, I've been around a lot of companies. We all got together to fight underground, which was a great idea, but thanks to COVID, it kind of squashed that. I like that concept. I liked everybody getting along. But the reason why I did it was my last tag team, Chris Coleman and Donnie Fulmer, Mr. Tap Out, Team Tap Out, was not getting anything. They, nobody was like knocking on their door to actually book them for one last match. So I was like, well, maybe I can give them a Hollywood ending. And I never thought in my wildest dreams, because I haven't done anything since 2014 totally. I ran the APWF ever since I took it off of Mr. Chris Lash, God bless him, who rest in peace, because he started it in 1998. Now, when Chris Lash was running it, Lash got big names, had big venues, and had a lot of people back in the day. But it didn't end well in 2010. And then I did another couple companies, Throwback Championship Wrestling, that I started back up. I started Heroes of Wrestling right after. We did that after the iconic pay-per-view that was terrible. So I've done a little bit of different stuff besides the Allied Powers Wrestling Federation, but the Allied Powers Wrestling Federation is near and dear to me because there's a lot of history, blood, sweat, and tears. We've had a good following back in the day. We had some great wrestlers. We've had guys that go to the WWE that come out of this company. So, I mean, people forget when you haven't been around in a long time, I think. And I'm just excited to put my my hat back on. Yeah, that's an old one there. That's old.
Yeah, you posted some old posters here from
I
back
was
in the
doing
day.
that last night. Yeah, that
2009. Same venue, S&T Bank Arena in Indiana, PA. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I booked Kevin Thorne back in the day. It's just a lot of the guys, we sprinkled a little bit of some APWF talent on this show. I mean, no offense, big time Bill Collier. That's where he got his start. He got his start right here in the Allied Powers Wrestling Federation. I don't know if anybody knew that, but that's the truth. And God bless Bill. I mean, Bill is such a phenomenal athlete and a good person in and out of the ring. And then even Tarantula, he has been in the APWF. I feuded with T. We did an FMW APWF invasion. So, I mean, there's some stuff out there that, there's a lot of stuff. So, yeah, call me crazy. This is probably another craziest thing. But the first thing I did was I asked my wife, if it was okay. So, and she's been a big part. I got a great staff. Larry Stryker, Shane Stodmiller, we got a great bunch of people that want to that have a positive message that we're trying to do. That's all. I mean, we're already booked 2 more. It was only supposed to be 1 show. It was only supposed to be just 1 show, and 1 show has turned into we are running the Castle facility in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, in August and October, and I'm trying. When I looked, I try not to compete with everybody. I really didn't. I didn't. When I did these dates, nobody was wrestling at the time, but people actually got some dates. And I try not to. I want to go on Sundays because I don't want to compete with anybody. But I can't compete with the Pittsburgh Steelers no matter who you bring in. So that's why I had to do some Saturday shows to end the year. But yeah,
it gets so hard. It is like
it's a different game now.
Well, yeah, you're out in Indiana. Like everybody's trying to not compete, but also like we have shows that are literally like an hour and a half away. That we're trying to compete with, right? So,
I promote everywhere. I go everywhere. Like I'm 45 minutes from Punxsutawney. That's where we got our start in Punxsutawney at the community center. The first show, I mean, we had almost 800, close to I don't even know, close to 1,000 people. It was sold out.
Jeez.
I mean, it was crazy. And we didn't even we had Axel Rotten on the first show and guys from Maryland Championship Wrestling where we were getting a lot of the talent back in the day. So, I mean, Lash was just, doing what he did best, getting good talent. And hopefully he didn't burn a lot of bridges, but sometimes he did, he was, that's another story in its own.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling.
Yeah. But I mean, I never thought that I would. It's different now. Wrestling right now is different. Like online tickets now, liability insurance.
Well, so that's back in the day. We're talking about like generally it looked like the 2000s that you were running from the posters I'm seeing. Like I remember like starting on the video team, helping out there for 2008. We were doing all the videos for DVD. right? All your tickets were sent an email, maybe, call this number, at the door, things like that. Are you finding,
Cash only.
cash only?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Cash only.
Like, are you finding, yeah, it's different, but there seems to be a lot more tools to use.
I agree with you.
Are you finding it easier? Different is obvious, but does it seem to be more helpful to promote in these new manners? Obviously still flyer, because you're gonna have people that aren't on Facebook, but especially out in Central PA, it's gonna be a mixed bag, right? But how are you feeling about like those promotional tools you do have versus back then?
Well, back then, all we had was Lash would get 100 posters, and I would go tack them on telephone poles. And
Yep.
realistically, everybody, I used to work at the Rose Inn, so that was it was a bar in Indiana County, and that was the hottest spot in Indiana County, and that's where people came, and that's where I sold tickets behind the bar. And the first show at the APWF, I sold 300 tickets myself. So, I mean, and my first match at the APWF was a shitty match, terrible, but I mean, and you just, everybody seed me, you know what I mean? It just trickles down though. They don't all come all the time. Wrestling was hot in the mid 90s.
Yep.
There's nothing you couldn't have done that people were coming. I mean, when Lash had me booked against King Kong Bundy, that was huge for me. Huge. So, I mean, I got it in a local paper. I mean, when I just did this show the other day, I went to the radio station and it just popped. The thing now that I tell people I am not wrestling, and that's why everybody asks me. I'm not doing it. It's not about me. It's about everybody else, because these guys are wrestling. Oh my God, 4 times a week now, 2-3 times, different states. It's so hot. Independent wrestling is so hot right now. It's So I just want to take this company and do it the right way this time. And I just want to give everybody an opportunity. I can't book everybody. We've had a couple cancellations, and that's okay. Sometimes they can't make it. Sometimes they can. So I have an open door policy, because I know some companies, well, you can't wrestle for him if you wrestle for me. Look, I don't have a training school or nothing like that as of yet. But you know what? I just have an open door policy, and I want to treat everybody fairly and equally.
Good. That's you mentioned that you mentioned a couple of names there, but I love that. I think the line was in Jim LaMotta's article over on PW Mania that it seemed like you wrestled Hulk Hogan's Rogues Gallery between all those
pretty
names.
much did, actually. I can name them: Nikolai Volkov, King Kong Bundy. I wrestled Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake at one time was part of the company. He was the guy controlling it. I wrestled Demolition Axe. Virgil, Brutus Beefcake. You know what I mean? That and 50, that's not, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? To matter to me was getting the people in just to see the show. So if I had to, take an ass beating, because that's part of the storylines in the APWF was I was getting beat up all the time. I was the common guy from Indiana, and I was going against Lash's, Lash was the evil promoter at that time.
Yeah.
And, we had great wrestlers coming in. We had great wrestlers going out, but it's different time now. Social media is, I wish I had this back then. If I had social media right now doing what I'm doing now with the podcasting and everything I'm doing, because no offense, I mean, I could talk to people in Walmart or Dairy Queen or wherever I'm at in my town. I'll talk wrestling 24/7. Even at my job, I talk about it and they don't like it, but that's just the way it is.
Let's talk about the show that is coming up. I disclosure, I am going to be behind the camera for your show.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I don't know your plans for video yet, but it will be on video. And that was one thing. We want to make sure that we are talking to promotions and shows that you guys out there in Seattle and California can potentially see down the road here. So that was one big reason, that got Bubba on the show to talk about this show coming up here. First of all, the biggest thing is, and this is a match I'm looking forward to, EC3 and Bill Collier. Looks like your main event for this guy.
It is. It is. The NWA world title has never been defended here in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Bruno Sammartino used to wrestle here. Hulk Hogan's been here. John Cena, Roman Reigns, but no NWA title holder. At one time, I was supposed to wrestle the Sheik, who was the NWA world title, and we were going to do it in Indiana because at one time the APWF was working with the NWA, and it fell through.
Yeah.
So that was my Rocky Balboa story. It didn't happen. So I went to
But you
Rocky
get to
3
come.
to Rocky 6.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That is exciting. Of course, we work, actually we work with EC3 the night before it is Exodus promotion. So I got
That's a great promotion he's got.
some great stuff going up there.
Man, it's so hot. And I am just so honored and lucky to actually have Bill available, because I didn't think he would be. I did not think he would be. I didn't think EC3 would be available. I just threw it out there. I was at Rise Wrestling, and God bless the guys at Rise Wrestling, Dean and, Brandon K. Those guys are great. They got a great company. Crew. I just took an opportunity to, shoot the ball. And, getting talent and trying to get guys, it's not like it used to be. I mean, it's a little different because some people don't know who I am. I wanted a ladies match on the card. We didn't get it. And then we got people later on, but our card was already full. So believe me, ladies, I believe in ladies wrestling more now than I ever did, because back in the day I didn't, because there wasn't a lot of ladies wrestling back in the early 2000s. It wasn't hot as it is now, and they worked their ass off. So, I mean, I'm trying to. We have probably in August will be our first ladies match. So, I mean, I just couldn't get it to this show, but I tried.
Now, tell me, what's the other top 2 or 3 matches that we should be looking forward for this one? I noticed there's a lot of familiar faces that we know from this show in the area here.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Zach versus Cowpoke. That is going to be
Zach Nystrom?
A match. Yes, yes, Nordstrom, yes. And they never faced each other. So that's going to be something. Now, the Rad Boys against Team Tap Out. I got 2 face teams. I don't know. Win, lose, or draw, this is the last match for Team Tap Out. And Chris Coleman, the world beater, is actually the Imagine Heavyweight Champion. So, I got a lot of companies. I mean, we're doing a Fight Underground Championship because it's never been defended anywhere live. And, Dean asked me, and I was like, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah.
The Rev, I've never been able to book the Rev ever. The Rev, in Fight Underground was the number one pick of mine. I could never book him because I wasn't running a company. Now he's going to defend the Fight Underground Championship on an APWF show.
That's awesome. I'm glad to see the Fight Underground project is still alive with that belt.
Well, we'll see what we can do. I don't know.
I mean, that was a wild project that we got to do. At least with the 2 tapings, and I know we were trying to do a lot of stuff that didn't work out for one reason or another.
But also other companies can do the same stuff.
Absolutely.
They could do the Fight Underground. I mean, it doesn't have to just. It could go around other companies, and then he could be carrying a title on other companies.
Love it. Just like the old Texarkana Championship, right?
Yeah. I never could book him. I always wanted to. He was great. I always could. I never could.
One thing I've loved, I feel like a lot of things that we did during the Fight Underground project have filtered in. I know it's informed a lot of things I do in production, moving back into after COVID with a lot. We learned some stuff, and brought that into some of the other promotions. Some of the styles and things that we're doing. I'm seeing some of the booking, the booking styles, some of the backstage interviews. Obviously, the brainchild of Fight Underground is somewhere else that is bringing a lot of those elements with him.
Am I allowed to say his name? Can I say his name?
I don't know. I'm sure he's gonna hate it if we do. He hates when we talk about him on this show.
Well, you know what? He did a lot of stuff. And he's great at what he does.
Yeah, Quinn Magnum is
Quinn.
One of
hats off to you. He's a ball buster, but he gets stuff done, and he is what's best for business.
I can't remember the last time I've seen somebody taken to our production team.
Yes.
Like Rizza is a part of that. I know.
I have spent the past 2 months being praised by something I've done by him.
By
just by pressing like he just yeah.
I'm gonna wait to Patreon, and I'm gonna put over Rizz on Patreon. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to Patreon and really gush over what Rizz
Patreon. I'm just gonna go.
What Rizz has been able to do and
Oh
how
no,
he has
my
been,
my water's
how Rizz has
running
been able
out.
to like work with his heroes of independent wrestling from 20 years ago,
Seriously.
and everything. Like I really want to do that a moment, and we'll talk more about Quinn Magnum on Patreon too.
Quinn Magnum gets the paywall.
There you go,
Yeah, if I
Quinn
get a-
Magnum paywall. We'll send it to him.
Yeah, he you know what? He had a great idea, and that concept, you
Mhm.
know, got me back into the Pittsburgh area again, really. You know what I mean? Because up here is different than Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's apples and oranges. But I mean, the respect, of Pittsburgh is, it's great. Like every company down there is doing something.
Yep.
Every company is getting a piece of the pie, and that's great.
And
You
doing
know, and
something
hopefully
different.
it keeps
Yeah.
hopefully it keeps going. I mean, hey, we all have egos. I mean, hey, I'm first to admit, but also too, it's hard work pays off.
This is the first time that there are 3 viable companies actively running within city limits,
Hmm.
whereas that was like 1 or 0 most of the time that I've been aware of professional wrestling in the last like 15, 20 years in the area. So that is tremendous. And
20,
Hmm?
20 years ago, it was us, APWF up here, and it was Jim Miller in PWX, and it was Norm Connors and Steel City Wrestling. That was it back in
Yeah.
the day I got started with United States Championship Wrestling with Mr. Sal Conte. So, and Sal was not good for the business, and
Mhm.
thank God he's not in it. But I mean, those 3 companies, where everybody worked well, and that was the Norm is great.
Mhm.
Norm Connors is the man, and he doesn't even run a company, and he's still the man.
Yep, as we've been seeing at RWA here
Mhm.
every month. So again, big show, APWF, EC3 NWA Championship. You want to go see that? You got to go this Sunday, Indiana, PA. Geez, what is that? That's about an hour or so. What was that from Central Pittsburgh here, where I'm at?
I'm an hour. I think I'm a little over an hour from Heinz Field.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
it's
love
about
that's
an
your
hour.
basis is I don't know why Heinz Field is your, and also I'm noticing that you're still saying Heinz Field like a true damn Pittsburgher. I
I'm
like
a
it that.
Yinzer. Yeah, it'll go. Yeah, I do it on my podcast, my Steeler Dynasty podcast, all the time. I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, having that NWA title match, he's going to have a meet and greet at 2:00. I've never done Sorg. I never done one of those before either. So I've never done one of them. I have.
Because all you brought in were bad guys to kick your ass.
Yeah, well, we never had a meet and greet. We never. This is something new.
Yeah.
I've never done that before, so it's something different. I'm going to make sure that EC3's got different colored markers and hand sanitizer. So I mean, I'm doing that instead of getting flare chopped and smacked over the head with a steel chair. So I'm okay with that.
There you go. It's a new era. I love it.
And honestly, we got people coming from Buffalo too. So we got wrestlers that haven't even been down here before. So I've got guys who are coming out of state like Vince Balor, Thomas Kennedy. So PJ Savage never been in Pennsylvania. So I'm trying to get a little APWF with Collier and Team Tap Out and guys that are big names in independence. The Rad Boys are to me the best tag team going on the East Coast today. And Zach and Cowpokes winning titles in every company, and the Revs winning titles, and these guys from Buffalo coming in and sprinkling some of that. And I can only get so many on a show, and we're only doing 7-8 matches.
Yeah.
I don't want to do too much more. Now this show here, we might have maybe 9 due to the fact we might have another match coming in because maybe EC3 is bringing somebody with them and they'll have a match. We don't know yet. But usually it's going to be 7 matches, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you know what I mean? Because short attention span, everybody's got short attention span, and I don't want to get too crazy.
It's a 3:00 show. Where can people get the tickets?
They can get them on www.apwfwrestling.com. The tickets we have now, the first 2 rows are sold out. I can say that. Sold out. So we got floor seats and we got general admission. And I'm working on I've never done a website before either, so I'm working on that. That's me, my wife, and Larry. We try to do the best we could so we can get these tickets out. And I want to my sponsors have been phenomenal. I got Oh my God, they've come through. APWF alumni sponsored, the community has sponsored. So I appreciate that. And part of the ticket sales is going to the Teddy Bear Fund Drive. Every show I do is going to be about charity.
Nice.
I
like it.
I'm all about that. So
go check it out. And I understand it's a very cool venue that you're at. We were talking about that
it's
a few
big
weeks
venue.
ago.
I want to
venue.
fill it. It's big.
Yes.
It's big. I would like to fill it, and hopefully there's nothing going on. Hopefully the Marion Center community supports Donnie, because realistically, out of Marion Center High School, there's been 5 of us that wrestled professionally, including myself, out of that high school. So a lot of the guys, and I think we're going to have some alumni coming back too. And I want to give the alumni their just dues, for paving the way, actually.
Excellent.
So I'm about that.
Real quick, I want to get it in here early while we're talking to you in this segment. You do a lot of podcasting as well. You seem like you're as addicted to it as I am. Where can people?
You do a lot more.
Where can people hear your voice here?
Well, people can hear my voice Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the Steelers Dynasty podcast with myself and my co-host, special field correspondent Shane Stodmiller. And then Friday nights, I do the Triple B Experience, where I talk pulp culture and do independent shout-outs to all the companies that do shows. And I talk other stuff, and I do one-on-one interviews with people that made it in Hollywood, to independent wrestlers, to people that are opening up businesses in my hometown. Wherever I can do interviews, I do it on that format. So I got 2 formats because of the algorithms, I guess. So, but I know. I try to promote everybody. I think that's a fair assumption. And I want to keep doing that because I think that's what's best for business.
Absolutely. And I'm loving that vibe. That's been happening. Bubba, it's always good to have you on. I'm glad that we've had your opinions on a lot of the stories through the week. I always love having somebody in the business talking about the business, versus some of us that are, I know we work in production, a lot of us on the show,
okay.
but
You're still in the business, though.
I still consider ourselves fans. We don't know how it works between the ropes.
You guys are still in the business when you guys are doing production, and stuff like that. You're still in the business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that's probably better than sometimes maybe being in a ring sometimes.
Absolutely. But I don't know how bad Damien's mess up the other night was, as your eye is on it. So that's what I appreciate, having guys like you on the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Instead of us speculating as non-wrestlers, either way. So thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's see what's happening at AEW, and then we're going to find out what we learned. Make sure you guys are getting that ready in the chat room, and tell us how you're liking the Wyatt 6 here on social medias, or if you're in the live chat room. We'll be right back after this.
How can you? Still as obnoxious as always.
From the Polka Castle!
I guess the power of the hat working to his advantage. Well, no, spoke too soon. Made it so much worse. Feeling a big back suplex. When in doubt, run. Oh, but They're going to send Lawler spinning up into the ramp. Get onto the ring apron. Lawler's now going to take advantage here.
He's feeling it.
Big neck breaker. Seemingly out the window. There's a big leg. Duck underneath. Nice close. Gavo, is he going to be able to power him over? He lit under him. Big splash.
Equalizer. I don't care how big it's going.
Oh, with a hold of the throat. Massive choke slam.
What is he doing out there?
Does he have that lasso again? Wait, he's got a hold. Oh, come on.
That mime strikes again.
Sneaks out a victory here.
Of the strongest from the Brambles, Troy Lourdes.
Both of you need to go to both of you have heavyweights in the area. I'm not taking anything away from them. And these two just back and forth with the arm drags.
I decided hitting that elbow, you win. You might have to take some liberty.
Ropes, here he comes. Boom, big knee.
I mean, your eye might still be intact as he drops that leg. Geez. Guillotine leg drop.
Oh my. T-bone. You're going to have to switch on over. For this is quite a chess match league. The tornado DDT.
There you go.
Oh. He's been wanting a piece of him for months now. He wants the Rev.
Oh.
The Rev is stopping him. Oh, twist that arm. Has him locked in.
He tapped.
The bell's rung. Mike Law taps.
0-3.
What was Rev Ron Hunt doing out here?
What was Devin Devine doing out here?
We are back, Wrestling Mayhem Show for the back of the show. I want to call it back in the book when we get to the news on Awesome Cast. Bubba Brewer hanging out with us.
I'm still here.
Triple B Experience, Steelers Dynasty podcast, and some little show happening this Sunday.
Yeah, some little show. Yeah. Yep.
That happens to have the NWA Heavyweight Championship for some reason. But no, APWF going on. We're all going to be hanging out there and having a lot of fun. And of course, Dave Podnar and Rizz on the line as well. I just can't show their faces right now. But I thought this was interesting because we were talking about, I was like, hey, what are we talking about AEW? And it was kind of brought up during the break. It was like, well, they're just not exciting anymore. So, now I'm still that person that's watching every damn minute of AEW. So, I love what they do. I love where things are. I'm enjoying the product. And I even watched the Ring of Honor product, right? I'm just all about that. I don't know for me if it's because I have worked with so many people that are on the show or anything like that, but I love the style that they're doing and everything. But I also love New Japan and things like that. So I want to go around the horn because I know I keep seeing this. Oh, that it's not exciting. It's boring. And I was like, I can't understand how it's boring right now. So I'd love to hear your opinions of what is going on with AEW. Why are people not as excited about it as it used to be? And Bubba, you had an opinion right off the bat here that you almost just spilled out during the break when nobody could hear you except for Patreon. So let's start with you so you can get this off your chest.
Well, guys, I used to love AEW and I didn't want to miss any of it. Mm-hmm. But like the last pay-per-view is way too long, and it's just storylines. I'm all about storylines, and some of the matches are mismatched for me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just, I just Christian to me, Kate is not in the main event. Mm-hmm. Like there's other places where other people can go, and I understand. It's just my opinion, but I remember 3 or 4 years ago. I watch every pay-per-view. I've seen them all, but this, who wants to watch a pay-per-view till 2:00 in the morning? Mm-hmm. I mean, realistically, but you guys might have a different take. You guys might love it. I mean, it's still wrestling. I'm a huge FTR fan, but now one of them's hurt. So,
wrestling is a subjective art form. Like you can't. We can't really. I can't explain why everyone likes it, because everyone doesn't like it. But I can say that, just like Bubba, I liked AEW. But to me, it got saturated pretty quickly. Like I want to be excited for it. And I really am. Like the stuff with Tony Storm.
Oh my God!
Like the stuff with
she's money.
Yeah, like everything with the Forbidden Door coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm into that stuff, but there's a lot of stuff, and I'm
Yes.
trying to
Yes.
like I don't know where to go. I don't know, and the stories. I sit here and I go. I think I'm one of the ones who said sometimes the best story is in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's true, but I want to know why that guy's taken 15 Canadian destroyers right now,
Mm-hmm.
or and why he's kicking out of every single one of them. I want to know why things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like my favorite thing, and it was actually brought up on a weird TikTok rant, a Jim Cornette dub.
Oh no.
He was ripping into like when the best friends were brought in by Sue in her minivan. I fucking love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just that weird shit. But to me, it's just like I want to like it. I really, again, same thing. I had the same exact 3 words or 4 words. I want to like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing I had with TNA.
Riz, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Do you think AEW, when they start, and talking in the ring and bashing WWE, doesn't that irritate you just to do your own stuff and
Yes.
quit talking about the other guys?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Me too.
I don't like it when WWE does it to them. I don't like it when TNA does it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when anybody does it to anybody. Do your own shit. Who cares about WWE?
Mm-hmm.
Do your own thing. Who cares about TNA? Do your own thing.
No,
except for the Forbidden Door, but
No,
still.
and I gotta say that door kind of goes both ways.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
The comments,
that's what I was saying.
like you had like Triple H kind of bashing the competition WrestleMania week. You had a lot of people kind of bashing the competition WrestleMania
And I didn't like that
week.
either.
Yeah, you guys are on top. You don't
Especially
need
for
WWE does not need to be punching down at this point.
Especially for the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to rise up.
Yeah.
No matter what happens or wherever you're at, you're
Mhm.
supposed to rise up. And even if this other company you have issues with, you got to rise up and be classy and be professional.
Absolutely.
The cream always rises at the top.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you something. When AEW started, there was everyone loved it because A, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and B, it was something other than Vince,
not
WWE. It wasn't anti-WWE. It was anti-Vince. We don't do what Vince does, right? And then it's like, look at the people we have. Okay, we have Jericho, but he wasn't an embarrassment, kind of like he is now. But in the beginning, okay, I'm seeing someone doing it. But also the people, there were people you generally didn't see on a national, well done cable show that you didn't see. And that was great. It was wonderful. It was different. It was exciting. And then pandemic happened, stuff happened. They both, I think AEW handled it well with what they had to do outside down in Jacksonville. But then you start to have WWE changing. And when Vince got booted the second time, not the first time, the second time, he's really, really gone. All of a sudden, AEW couldn't counterbook and say, we're not Vince. Because there are certain things that WWE still does that I don't like. That's annoying that, but they toned down the really stuff that turned you off from them. So they can't say we're not and especially since you're spending a few minutes every Dynamite with Jericho doing the whole learning tree thing, which is right out of WWE, and
rehash storylines all the time.
And Jericho, just go away. Put him on Ring of Honor. If you think he's valuable as a veteran presence, who has ideas, who can help the younger talent, put him on Ring of Honor, put him on other shows. Just don't give him that major segment like that. Because honestly, Jericho comes on, I turn the channel.
Okay.
I just don't like it. And honestly, the other thing is, I am not a fan. I know some people love it. The two-headed, power-hungry, EVP thing.
Because they're portraying Vince.
I don't think I don't think it's fully. I think they're portraying a lot of promoters that they've had to deal with over the years. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's a projection of that, and also it's also I believe it's a projection of people's opinion of them, which is something that they've classically done. So here's my take on this. I think you're right. It's a little bit of that. They were counter programming a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've been noticing and observing with WWE is, especially with Cody coming over and some other people and some other ideas, what did WWE do very well to counteract competition in the late 90s? They mimicked the stuff that NWO became a real-ish thing. ECW was happening with everything there, and WWF made their version of this with the Attitude Era and took that stuff and made it a viable product. I believe what they are doing now, and there's two parts to this. There's the TKO and stuff that, let's put that aside for a moment. But I feel like they've taken that attitude, because part of that attitude that was brought into AEW, I think, was Cody. I think was Cody's attitude. If you were ever at a live show and heard Cody on the mic afterwards and how he talked to the crowd, right? Mm-hmm. How they treat the crowd. I was noticing, I feel like there was a kibosh on this, and I feel like that this has changed. I don't remember ever seeing people sign autographs on the way out on a PLE. And I saw both Drew and Cody do it this weekend, right? That shows me an attitude shift. Right? Mm-hmm. The sing-alongs in the crowd that happen now, not just what happens in Europe, but generally the Cody, Cody and Seth and everybody going on there, bringing the crowd to become part of the show. We can literally call this the Judas effect, because that's really where it really took off, was between that and the Jurassic. Whether the Jurassic Express or the theme, the crowd became part of the show in that way, right? So you do have that. You have Pat McAfee and Michael Cole and everybody. The chains have been left off of them, and they're having fun. I can call that the Excalibur effect, right? They are taking the things that we loved about. They're having baller fucking matches and leaning into them on these PLEs. And doing the most expert sport storylines and production they can, that only they can do, and adding those elements that we liked from AEW, because AEW showed that there was a viability to these ideas that somebody for 20 years didn't think there was, right? And respecting things that are happening on the indies, because to me, AEW was taking all the things that I loved about New Japan and independent wrestling and putting it on TNT, right? And WWE watched for the last 5 years, learned, and they are executing flawlessly on those things.
What's WWE adding to that, though?
Everything TKO is bringing, putting it internationally, putting it on bigger stages, putting the money and the production behind it that AEW cannot. Because I've said,
well, let me ask you something: cannot, or just doesn't want to?
For whatever we think, no. For whatever we think. For whatever we think about the purse strings that the Khan family has, they are not WWE, and they're especially not TKO. Okay.
Well, no, here's the thing, though. What I'm saying is, remember, they were talking a few years ago. Our billionaire has more money than your billionaire. Before TKO took him over, because Vince only had WWF and WWE. That's it.
Money.
But you're talking about a publicly traded company.
What I'm saying is, even before he went publicly traded, let's go back to the first WrestleMania. where Vince mortgaged his house.
Sure.
Okay. Do you see the Khans mortgaging their mansion to put on a wrestling show? Well, even if but I mean, to say, you know what? We want to put better money in here. Therefore, we're going to, but I'm saying, if they want to say, we want to put more money from our, because most people who, when they're that rich, they don't have liquid cash.
Well,
they're not willing to say, hey, let's sell part of our soccer team in Europe, or let's sell a portion of the Jacksonville Jaguars to get money to put into wrestling. They're not. He just signed
his quarterback for $275 million. So he has money, but he's not putting it into product because the product Tony is not doing what he needs to do. Well, not only that, he's not making his stars. He's not making stars of people that they have. Like the only star they have that they made is Tony Storm and MJF. Other than that, everybody else
and Jade.
They had Jade.
They did make her.
They made her and WWE snatched up, which was a great move for her. Like you cannot, you can't fault her for that, for making a business decision like that.
No,
it's a bigger stage. Like if you have the opportunity to be on the bigger stage and not just like kind of thrown in the mix, go for it. Like that's the way they do,
Well, I think part of the other issue is that AEW hit their audience.
Yes.
But they hit and they maintain their audience.
And that's a question. Is that audience that likes that kind of product, can it be bigger? And that's what we're running into. And that's the experiment, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? They're serving,
and because you're booking, just like, kind of almost like WWE, you book for Vince, AEW is booking for Tony. And is Tony's idea of what wrestling should be, which was ECW, Ring of Honor,
Indies, New Japan,
is that bigger than 700,000 or 800,000 people a month? A
the
week?
The biggest statement is, Tony Khan said something, and I want the T-shirt. I book wrestling for sickos like me. And it was like, cool. Let's see how many sickos are out there. What does that do for your body?
But then he also said the most important thing is the ratings and what the network thinks.
I think that's something you say when you are in the market for a new TV deal. I would not,
And you're going to be one of the top guys.
Yeah, I mean that's the most important thing, to get the money that's going to carry you for the next 5 years.
That's now open.
Yeah. So I mean,
same thing with the arena shows, though. Same thing with Dynamite and Collision. Can you fill arenas with 15 to 16,000 people, or are you? We have a crowd, and our crowd is on a week out basis, 5 to 6 or 7,000. And if your crowd's 5 or 6 or 7,000, you have to say, okay, this is our crowd. This is what we're going to get because of this is the product we're showing, and therefore we have to either run places that will make our crowd look good, because you don't want to run a 15,000 seat arena with 5,000 people.
No.
Or you're going to have to adjust your expenses. I mean, look, and I'm kind of going back and bringing in sports here. Yeah. I remember Pirates.
How dare you on a wrestling podcast?
I remember the Pirates in the late 80s.
Oh, no.
And the early 90s. Okay.
You mean the one when they had the pirate parrot selling, Anyways, going back.
Hold on. I need an emotional support turtle.
But I'm talking about when they had the 3 runs in a row for the National League East title.
Okay? Early 90s.
Early 90s and late 80s when they were on the upswing.
Right.
Okay, Three River Stadium held 60,000 people. You could have 40,000 people in there for a baseball game, and it looks empty because majority of those seats were upper deck. So you had 30,000, you had maybe 20,000, 30,000 filling that lower bowl, and then when you looked on the TV, those upper seats were half empty, and it looked and it was hollow, and it. Unless you filled it up like the Steelers do for football, if you were in like one of those games where they filled 50,000 people for baseball, that was great. But just like with AEW, putting 5,000 people in a 10,000 or 15,000 seat arena it's not. And the fact that WWE on purpose, this is production, lights the entire arena.
When you can, you do.
Right.
Yeah.
But AEW can't.
Well,
So,
I mean,
it-
WWE. I mean,
couldn't do
WWE
that,
had
yeah.
light years too, where they
Yeah.
didn't.
Right. No,
and,
I'm saying.
and now
but
that they can, it's like
I'm saying
now that we're filling
compare-
arenas, we're going to showcase
Right.
the crowd that we're bringing in. You know,
Exactly.
so I mean,
And
that
the
is a
stage is smaller.
situational decision.
Right. But I'm
Yeah.
saying if you're comparing on what people are thinking now
Mhm.
about the shows, they're turning into TV. They're seeing WWE boast about sellouts.
Sure.
because
Right.
of WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, I think WWE went up like this. AEW started. I mean, they just couldn't.
Just a
they just
little
can't
bit, yeah.
compete.
But I mean, but the thing is, in people's mindset, people who would watch both shows,
Hmm?
because AEW to get that
Those are
million
the real
viewers-
sickos, by the way, that watch both shows.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the
but
real
but to,
sickos.
but to get that million viewers,
Yeah.
that over million viewers,
Yeah.
okay, which who knows what the network may be saying? Hey, 700,000, we're happy, even though last year we were 800,000.
And once again,
overall
these are better
market's going
numbers.
down.
These are better numbers too than the majority of cable.
Right.
AEW still clocks. This is like WCW. WCW was never, I'm going to say, and somebody can back me up with the numbers on this, never a bad ratings deal for
Oh,
the
no.
networks it was
No.
on. Never.
No.
Until the very last episode was not. It was not at the oh my god numbers they were, but they were still top cable numbers even on up to the last episode of Nitro. Okay, so like we, when we say oh it's not good enough as compared, like we, AEW does not have to beat WWE, and they're not in a game to beat WWE. They
But
are.
they can be.
They
if they do
can
it
be.
right,
But
because
has
their
Pepsi
tag
ever
team
beat
division-
Coke?
Well, sometimes it has.
Mhm.
But also too, a couple years ago, their tag team division was the hottest tag team division going today.
Sure.
The ladies were just subpar. The girls in WWE, even when they got Sasha coming in, like paying her all that money, she doesn't move the meter as she does in WWE as she does in AEW.
Mhm.
And then you probably got a little bit of jealousy. They're paying her all this big money and they're not moving the meter.
Mhm.
Willow probably moves the meter more than
Yes.
Oh my
Sasha
God, that
does.
Willow pop on
100%
Sunday. Yeah.
I mean, it just to me they're just not, and they need to make Willow a star like
Mhm.
Tony Storm and make their own homegrown talent
Mhm.
because when you have a homegrown talent, that just makes it more viable,
Yep.
in my opinion. Because getting everybody from WWE, like Andrade was there, now he's back at WWE, and
Yeah.
Malachi Black, he wasted talent in AEW, which is he's great talent. That House of Black was great, but they just didn't. It's not booked right, and it's just wasted. It's just, but don't get me wrong, it's great wrestling. I don't want any company to go under at all.
No.
I just want people to, Tony Khan. You got the money, man. You got the money, brother. Just book right, and then.
Yeah.
Well, I think
right.
I think it's not just the booking. I think it's infrastructure. I think you see.
He needs help.
Yeah. It just seems like it was too many shows too fast, and I don't think they've leveled up things yet. You know what I mean? Like WWE can do all these big shows all over the place because they have the structure, the know-how, the the built-in know-how, the knowledge transfer to do that, and that stepped up even more because now you have the people that know how to do this expertly from the UFC side too. So now that's just literally adding a rocket to them on top of things. So which unfortunately makes AEW feel even smaller at this point, even though they've been maybe the same size they were last year. And also, I believe that AEW's been in rebuilding since. I think AEW has been in rebuilding since beginning of January with the MJF time off, with the injury bug. It has been terrible. With their Adam Cole's and that and the CM Punk blow up that was going to be a count on for that next year. So I think I think it's just a lot of that hitting. Oh my God, what's hitting?
I don't think they recovered from CM Punk.
No,
I don't think they recovered.
We are in a year of Collision, which was supposed to be his baby.
Yeah. So what is that? And does that continue? I can see them
It'll continue. It'll continue because the network pays the money.
Sure.
And they'll say, oh, you want to have a new deal. you're not giving, like I said, it's good programming for the network in terms of the network really doesn't have to pay a lot in general.
And also,
so, by the way, we want now Collision. We have your 2 hours of Collision. We have your 2 hours of this, and we have your hour of what's the Friday show? Rampage.
Yeah.
But we want maybe another hour or two or something else we can add, because
a good Ring of Honor show would be great.
Yeah. And I'm noticing Ring of Honor has been tightened down to an hour. And so I think that's by design. I think there's some ankling going on between the library of Ring of Honor, the streaming platform of Ring of Honor. I think that is I've seen that as a leverage play for the new TV deal for a while, or maybe an independent thing. So like what that kind of turns into, I'm curious about. So like all that stuff. Like I feel like New Japan's doing the same thing. They're doing a new leverage deal with their platform. You're noticing more pay-per-views pop up there. Wrestle Universe is doing the same thing, but they have their TV deals in Japan, obviously. But they also have these cross deals with, you can watch AEW programming of some sort on both those platforms in Japan, by the way. So it's a yes TV. And also, what happens in the void of WWE on television platforms next year? Not that everything's going to Netflix in America, but the biggest statement that I took from this weekend was Triple H saying that 80% of the world will be able to watch every single thing from WWE on Netflix. Everybody, and again, I will reiterate this: every place that still has WWE Network, Peacock is only a USA deal. If you have a VPN on that says you're in a different country, you cannot watch your Peacock account. I've tried. So that speaks a lot. I think you're going to see. I don't think Peacock keeps WWE. I think Netflix is going to scoop them up as soon as that deal's done.
They're going to put pay-per-view on
and
Netflix.
And that includes pay-per-view on Netflix. That includes live on.
Well, I think
Netflix has been pushing the live for a while. And if at the very least, I cannot imagine a 2025, if not a 2026, without AEW bringing that stuff into Max. I cannot imagine them not pulling the trigger on it at this point.
Assuming there's a Max.
Also, there's that.
Because the Warner Brothers Discovery not really in good shape.
Yes, we're not going to go down that road again.
Right. But I'm saying, but it is part of the whole TV deal how much money they can get off of Warner Brothers Discovery, depending on how bad Warner Brothers Discovery is in debt.
Yeah, that is...
remember right before WCW went under, AOL bought Time Warner.
Yep. And I think the only thing that could kill WWE is mismanagement and mergers at whatever we call WB these days. So whoever is TNT's parent company this week.
And one other thing, I think the other thing that's hurting AEW, you mentioned about expansion of pay-per-views. When it was for a year, you could say, $50, we'll get together with a few people. Now they're up to 8 at $50 a piece.
And then, okay, I will agree with you on if you're comparing that to WWE, but we also live in a world with $100 UFC pay-per-views.
But that's UFC.
Like every 2 weeks.
There's some crossover.
It's the same. It's similar audience.
I would pay $100 to watch wrestling before I pay UFC.
Yeah,
sure.
I was gonna say when was the last
time? But Bubba, we're the sickos. We're the sickos, right? Let's go.
Well, I mean, I watch a lot of wrestling like all you guys, but I just want to be entertained. But I mean, that last pay-per-view was just way too long, and I have a thing where I can watch any pay-per-view known to mankind, and I just want to see AEW get back to a little bit of grassroots when they were doing it before. Maybe they're not going to be able to compete with WWE. Don't compete, just do your own thing.
Yeah,
and people will still come.
Absolutely.
They have the best. They have the best talent, roster wise. They have some great wrestlers.
Absolutely. And of course, there's people with budgets. Somebody just messaged me they have formula to buy. Yes, obviously there is a decision to go into this, but. That's okay.
Also,
I want to wrap. I want to wrap and get to something positive here.
Okay.
First, one positive thing is our friends at Slice on Barley, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Oh, damn, I don't think I put the ad in the last show. Anyways, our good friends down there in New York City style, Yinzer Made, Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and the North Hills, and so many more locations around here. Rico and the guys supporting us for a good while here. Whenever there's anybody in studio, we make sure they get fed here, so there's one less thing to worry about. So we are pepperoni fueled with our pro wrestling opinions. Oh, that's a new one. I kind of like that.
Good one.
I'm gonna work on that
right
one.
there.
Okay,
That's a good
write that down. Anyways, thank you them for supporting the show. Check them out, sliceonbroadway.com, if you are in the greater Pittsburgh area. So now it's time to find out what you learned in wrestling this week. If you're in any of the live chat rooms here, please let us know or use that hashtag WMS. I'm getting good at the point. I'm getting some good situational awareness here. Hashtag WMS914, and let us know what you learned from wrestling this week on whatever platform. Tag us wherever we're at and with the hashtag so we know what episode you are referring to. So I have in the notes. Oh my gosh, what are these? What?
Yeah.
Oh
That-
wow,
yeah,
you guys
I have a
really went
list.
at it. Wait, Rizz, did you put 3 things you learned in here?
No,
Is this
it's
what's
all
happening?
one. It's
all
just
one.
one.
All right. Well,
It's just
since
one.
you are the one that overstated the assignment here,
Yeah. So I want
tell
you to
me
start at the
tell
bottom
me
where it
what's
says
going on.
start.
What did you
He's
learn
gonna-
in wrestling this week, Rizz?
All
Get
right.
an A+.
So I learned that we've gone way too far to be tricked by Tom's Customs anymore.
Oh, Tom's Customs. I love you, but I hate you.
Yeah, there's this.
What is this?
There's the second. Select the second one.
Tell the audio. Tell the audio what we're looking at.
So
please.
we're looking at a makeshift Josh Barnett's Bloodsport of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, versus Filthy Tom Lawler, which would have
Okay.
been insane.
I love Tom Lawler. He's my
Yeah.
favorite.
And then this one's just for you, Sorg. The second one here.
Oh, this fucking thing. What the fuck is going on with this deal? 'Cause
I don't know.
I saw Violent J just going off about CM
about
Punk.
he's not he didn't give him a handshake at
Violent J
TNA.
would get his ass beat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure, I
Stick
don't
to the
know.
rapping, dude.
Jace,
I mean,
Jace fucking street. I don't know about that.
And then-
I'm not a big Punk fan, but I think Punk can beat up a clown.
Wow.
I hope.
Wow.
That's
Well,
all.
I'll see Jay in a couple weeks and I'll ask him that.
Okay.
So-
And and
Tell
then
him I
this,
said so.
yeah, and then
Oh,
this
man.
third one is just for me, because Seth Rollins came back in the only way Seth Rollins can come back. So every 50 likes, he made his hat bigger.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. All right.
And, like,
Yep.
Keep
Yep.
going.
Yep. We're skipping through this. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. Wait. Oh, he's inside.
It's on the
hat.
building
He's
now.
Inside the hat. It's on the building.
It's
Wow.
he's covering Doug Dimmadome.
It's
going around the world. There it is.
The galaxy. There you go.
Unigalaxy.
It
And then
goes-
he's
Where
and then
am I?
he's
There's a whole sequence
There's-
where actually
yeah.
inside your hat is Edge, and what is happening? So I saw something, somebody's pants. It was like Okada's pants from a
Mhm.
couple weeks ago. Like that's the one I saw, and the pants are on the planet, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and there's a
Mhm.
whole thing. It actually keeps going beyond this,
Yes, it
where he's
does.
in a different universe. and
Multiverse.
Seth, wake up. Seth, it's time to
Oh.
go. Wait, did they go interstellar
it
on
goes
this
back,
shit?
Yes.
They just went interstellar on this shit. Oh my god.
Wait, go. Yes, do the next one. Like right there. Right.
What's up? Oh.
Click the one on top there.
Wait, so now it's black.
No, go back up. Go back up. Go back up. Go
I
back
went
up.
too far. I've gone too
You're too
far down the
far.
rabbit hole.
Look behind him.
What?
Look behind Seth Rollins.
Is
was it
is
Pitcher
Undertaker
Taker?
also with the giant hat? It's a giant black hat. Oh my god! And then did he just start over, or did I start
It's
over?
just now. It's just the thing where it says it's just it.
Oh my god! This is
It's-
this is the thing that Twitter's still good at. It's
Yeah.
something like this.
It's memes.
amazing.
It's we only came here for memes.
Yes,
Let's just point
yes.
that out there.
It's just
It's
a meme
that-
machine.
it's between
become,
that
it's
and-
become the Tumblr.
And then the in memorial for Chad Gable at the end there.
That was good.
That was good. But yeah, that's my entire what I've learned. I'm going.
Dave Podnar, what did you learn from wrestling this week? I'm clicking your links. Are these both yours?
Okay. Yeah, they're
You
both
too?
mine.
Okay, all right.
The first one, that Max the
Man.
Impaler
Okay.
is in a horror movie.
Of course.
They are playing the title character in the horror movie.
Okay.
The story is they find a 12-year-old girl and raise them as their own child. And like I said, is it going to be high level? Is it going to be a Kane movie? I don't know.
It's got Sean William Scott
Yeah.
and Fabian Therese, who they're naming like I should know who that is.
See no evil. Don't just say a Kane movie. That was a perfect movie.
Okay, yeah.
I've
That
never
was
seen it.
pretty good. Yeah.
Sorry, I've never seen. I have it. I've never seen it.
You need to do a watch along on your podcast then.
You actually need to see it.
Yeah. Make it happen. That's okay. I'm sitting on a copy of Marine 6 I never got through either. So yeah.
And the second one was something I actually saw that for a lot of baseball parks, they have races, and the Washington Nationals have the presidents. And they had Bryce there refereeing.
What?
Yep.
That's Bryce?
That's Bryce.
Oh, he's coming with a steel chair.
Yeah.
Who was that, Jefferson? No, that's George Washington with the steel
It's
chair?
Washington with the steel chair over
we're gonna get
Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, my
gosh. But wait a minute. It gets even better.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Wait, I don't know. Okay. Wait. Near the end.
Okay. They're going. They're towards the end. They're going.
Yep.
Somebody's got a steel chair. Who's that? Is that the Acclaimed?
Yep.
Who's that, Bowens? Oh no.
Yep.
And Lincoln. Oh my God, there's a replay on President George getting the steel chair to the face. Oh no.
Dave Lincoln?
That's Lincoln, yeah.
We were talking just a couple weeks ago about how we went to Pierogies to do a wrestling thing. Like we were trying to figure that out for some gimmicks somewhere. But yeah, damn it. Can't beat that one. I think
Scissor me, daddy of the country.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, scissor me, father of our country. Bubba Brewer, what did you learn from wrestling this week or recently, since you're not on weekly?
Gosh.
I mean, you're learning a lot right now, aren't you?
Wrestling is an everyday thing, so I learn everything. Don't have an 18-wheeler parked in front of your house. That's
what?
Trying to get a ring out at 95-degree heat. That's what I learned today. So I'll just stick with that.
From the chat room, Mad One learned that my wife thinks that Nikki Cross is actually playing Lily, and I've never loved her more because that's fucking brilliant. Oh, Lily the doll. Oh, I like that. Alexa Bliss's doll. Tina from Seattle says, I've learned that everything is in the details, from the Punk angle to the Wyatt Six chef's kiss. There you go. So what I learned this week, and this weekend, I've had great fortune to be working with one of the guys behind Enjoy Wrestling over the some time over the last year, I guess, on some projects, or just catching up around what we do on Thursday nights and stuff, and to see a little bit behind the curtain of what they think about how they're doing this thing, learning more about how Enjoy Wrestling came to be and everything. I knew it was special from the first time I saw it. I think I contributed to the Kickstarter when these guys started over COVID. Or maybe right before COVID. I think they might have been running that. And kind of being, arm's length to it, for a while now. But just kind of seeing what they've been doing and seeing it was so different, bringing a whole different thing, approaching an entirely different audience than anybody else serves here in the greater Pittsburgh area, making a different, friendly environment to people that maybe didn't feel, for whatever reason, comfortable or safe at other wrestling shows, and just doing wrestling the way that they want to do wrestling. and really doing quite different shows than anybody else is doing in the area. And really appreciate that. And of course, personally appreciating the production level that they bring to it that I wish I could bring to shows. So that's been great to watch them building, going to witness them at Mr. Small's, seeing them at interesting venues very close to the city. I think their first show they wanted to run was in the city that they were trying to run. So like seeing that, and in background, I've been trying to poke promoters that we've worked with over the last decade to run Pittsburgh. Not like yes. My biggest complaint, and I've said this out loud several times, was professional wrestling. Pittsburgh professional wrestling is all 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, right? And that was very true because everything was a ride down 51 that I was going to for years, right? That we worked with, and there wasn't much else at the time that was viable. And it was like 3 companies for the longest time, and they were all pretty much in, beyond the South Hills. These guys took a big ass swing. They ran Stage AE. If you're not in Pittsburgh, Stage AE is a concert venue here in Pittsburgh in the shadow of Heinz Field.
Yep.
Thank you. And it is the place that ran Ring of Honor was running it for a good long time. Before the COVID shutdowns and everything. NXT ran 2 or 3 times, I think, when they were starting to do the tours. This is in that like Kevin Owens, Finn Balor era, Adam Cole era kind of situation when they were extremely hot and they were packing that place. Really cool shows that have happened there. So that building has, it's not a terribly old facility, but it has a history of high level professional wrestling, national companies. This was, they stated, Sean Collier as the announcer, stated this is the biggest, thank you for being part of the biggest professional wrestling show, independent professional wrestling show in the city of Pittsburgh. We can say there's bigger shows in Ross River, Monroeville, whatever, but that doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about here.
Right.
This is in the city. I can take a bus. I can take a train. Okay, not a train because they shut it down on my street on Sunday. But, this is accessible to people who are not going to go to the country. Period. This is a whole audience that is not going to go to your wrestling show. Period. Yes. And they all showed up for this. They just actually did a post just in the last couple of hours. It looks like that there was nearly 700 people at that show. Okay. Fantastic numbers for an indie show. This was a show that had big talent. They had Willow that we were talking about earlier. They had the Fashion Police, or whatever they're calling these days, Fandango and Tyler Breeze. But this was, I think it was, I will personally say, I think that this was Mikey Montgomery's star-making night. I can't wait for everybody to see the video. Enjoy does their post-production. Those will be on YouTube for free on YouTube and Remix. I think they're still on too. And it was so crazy to look around and everybody around me was somehow we picked our tickets and it's where everybody that we knew was standing that was working security for the show, which meant it was everybody that we work with at 880 Wrestling on Thursday nights. And seeing there's a great video that we have internally of CL just reacting to things. Just being a fan, and even though he took over camera several times throughout the night. But I talk about the wrestle chills a lot of this show. I had the wrestle chills looking around at that venue and seeing so many friends and so many people in that ring that night are people that I've definitely filmed their first matches. And to see them on that stage, most of them, this is the biggest venue, biggest audience that they've been in front of, with the biggest opponents, the runway. Dream match for them. Dream match, I think, for most of us was them against the Fashion Police.
100%.
And lived up to it. David Lawless in his steel cage match. Lee Moriarty, I know we filmed some of his early matches. In a fantastic match with Darius Carter. There was not a bad match on the card. It was tremendous from top to bottom, and then even got better when we got to MV and Mikey, and then the title situation at the end. I just looking around and just seeing this was so amazing. Katie Arquette, seeing the return to a sort of wrestling stage by Ziggy Haim. I'm trying to try not to spoil anything because no spoilers, guys. You guys catch it on YouTube when they put it out. I want to put them over. I feel like everybody on the show, TME, Facade and Danny, I mentioned Arquette, Derek Direction, Dillinger, whatever his name is these days. Talent we usually don't see here outside of Enjoying 880, like Elo O'Neill and Jordan. Help me out. What's her name?
Jordan Blade.
Jordan Blade. Thank you. Billy Dixon, another great talent that I know we saw down in Ashe and the Polycult shows and things like that. And the show that this quote unquote alternative wrestling, pro wrestling in the city is very, very viable and drew what it drew.
Yes.
Everybody that was on that show deserves their flowers. I think Enjoy Wrestling, everybody that was involved in that show, put on their deserve their flowers. I was proud and excited to be in a bought seat for this thing to support this project. That's the place I'd rather be than anywhere else at a show like this.
Yes.
They are doing so many things that I've wanted Pittsburgh professional wrestling to do for ages, from the sponsors to the production to the venue to what they do for and with the fans. And that is they're it, they're
They hit a home run.
They hit a home run.
Right.
And they had their WrestleMania. And I can't wait to see what they do next. Well, actually, very soon they're going to be at Tattoo Mania. They got a bunch of spot shows.
Well, that means everybody that has a company, owns a company, wants to have a company, has to step up and do, what those guys did, and bring it.
And I'm not going to say as competition.
No,
but
no.
But
they
because I don't. Nobody's at a loss. I just want to clarify that, and I think we're both on the same page.
Right.
And not as, hey, these guys just like made, these guys just stole your wind. No, that's not what's happening. No. If nothing else, there's a lot of new faces that were in that audience that, okay, Gianni's going down here to RWA. What's happening down here in West Newton? Maybe that's something I need to check out. Because now you're seeing that happen.
Before I go, I have always wanted Pittsburgh Indie Mania, where every company brought something together to actually. I was told it would never happen, and Bubba, you're fucking crazy. And this is another promoter told me this, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try. Like, if everybody gets along, have one or two matches of their company, everybody goes. You'll have all the fans wherever you make it in Pittsburgh or whatever. I mean, like, and you said, like, Enjoy Wrestling with their production. I watch it. I know all about that stuff too. The difference in people. You have to think different ways now. It's not to, you know what I mean? And I try to think out different ways. But I would love to see wrestling in Pittsburgh, like an Indie Mania type event with all the companies coming together. I don't know how, but I'm throwing it out there before I get off this show,
and
because I don't know when I'll be able to do it. But all of us can put something together.
It's not the first time this idea has been recently discussed.
I've been doing it. I've been
thinking
about it for 20 years.
Yep. So no, it's. I think it's exciting between that and between what you do see. Where I mean, my God, seeing in a lot of them are ones that we work with, but seeing promotions. All Yin's Life Wrestling. All Yin's Light Wrestling. Is that what that is?
I love it.
Isleet. All Yin's Elite Wrestling just came in from the chat. But no, absolutely. And again, seeing promotions that share each other's stuff, share each other's posters on the same weekend, mind you. Hey, check us out in Worthington. Come down to West Newton tomorrow and see our friends down there. And you do have some shared assets there, of course. And there's those relationships. Even Bubba, you were there. I believe at the first taping, right? When we had, and I couldn't believe this happened. We're doing that. The promoter from Rise brought a ring. there was a problem with the ring, and then the promoter from RWA came in.
Yep.
And we took the picture of 3 Pittsburgh bookers / promoters in one place and one time together. Nobody said it fucking happened. And that, honestly, I think that set the tone for everybody who's not still, I will just say, I won't say the rest I wanted to say. I will say isolationist in professional wrestling.
I can say anything, and I don't care whatever happens to me, because I do what I say, and I do, you know what I mean? I just, like I said before, everybody gets along.
Yes.
It would be better for the communities of wrestling. And look, there's 3 shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes it's great. This is the hottest time. And if everybody works together, it could get even hotter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, True Prince of Pro, my favorite giffer, is out there in the chat room. I've been saying it for the longest time. Mikey Montgomery is one of the absolute best talents in all the independent wrestling right now, and he is proved that at Stage E. I love talking to Mikey about wrestling. Like, he is so excited and has so many ideas, and that's great. Matt also says the Enjoy show really brought me to tears multiple times during the show, because I was just so proud of everyone for doing such an incredible job in such a huge show like that. No, yes, to see that everywhere, to see the media coverage, to see friends of ours on the news, on television. I still need to watch that segment back. I've only seen the pictures.
I've seen it. Good.
Yeah, it's very. Look at the run between Runway and Danny and Facade. Of course, it's good. You know, it's gonna be amazing.
It was great. The Runway took it over. Actually, I thought they were phenomenal.
Awesome to see Enjoy on the front page of the City Paper with cover boy himself, referee George Ross, on there.
Of course, it's George Ross.
Of course, George Ross.
Of course, it's
cover
Ross.
Cover hog. Yes, the cover boy, the Blue Steel himself, George Ross. So fantastic stuff. So good stuff there.
I mean, I've been watching wrestling indie wrestling since 2006. MV and Mikey Montgomery is my favorite match.
You know what I loved?
Ever.
You know what I loved that happened? That I think recently said never happens anymore. A full standing ovation after a baller fucking match.
Yes.
The fucking respect of professional wrestling, man, which is something that I don't remember since like 2009 IWC. Like when everybody was tearing up there. Like everybody, I don't know what it is, but man, like they fucking brought it and everybody was there for it, and I fucking love that. So.
And I'm so happy that, because I've been trying to say that for a while, and then every time in my head I'm like, Mikey Whipwreck, and I'm like, no, that's not right.
Oh,
it's Mikey Montgomery.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff. Can't wait to see where they go from there. Okay, my recorder stopped. That means the show should stop.
No, keep it going.
No, I'm going to have to do some editing now, because we're I need to recover. So if this sounds a little different here on the audio, sorry guys. Anyways, that's fine. We got backups. So with that, I think I got everybody. I think everybody got their piece in, right? Including the chat room. I will do one last sweep there. But again, thank you, everybody. Bubba Brewer, where can people check out? Again, buy tickets for this weekend and hear your lovely dulcet tones on the internet.
Oh, my lovely dulcet tones. You can catch me Friday nights on the Triple B Experience at 9 o'clock, the Steeler Dynasty podcast, Wednesdays at 9, and www.apwfwrestling.com. The return evolution, because it seems like pro wrestling has evolved since I've been away. So it's a good thing. So I'm hoping everybody comes out on a Sunday afternoon and sees the NWA World Heavyweight title being defended, EC3 versus Big Time Bill Collier, and just sees a show. I'm not going to deny I'm a little nervous because I haven't done this in a while. So hopefully it's like riding a bike. But when I was a kid, I used to wreck my bike a lot. So we shall see.
Are you going to do a little bit of a postmortem on one of your shows next week after the show on how it went and
No,
what you've learned from the weekend?
Yeah, I probably will.
I can tell it's going to be one of those promoters where I have to like walk by and be like, remember to breathe. I've done that to everybody. That
we've done that to you, Sorg.
Oh yeah, you guys do it to me too. Because sometimes I forget, but I've done it a lot to guys like that. So, hey, want to give
thanks for inviting me on though.
No, thanks for being on,
guys.
Over on YouTube, go shout out Darth Jabbles. I'm sorry, apologize. He says he was at the show too, and it says it was incredible. So awesome to see you guys on checking us out too. Rizz plays games. He'll be playing Big Kitty, Little Kitty in Big City.
Little Kitty Big City.
Little Kitty Big City tomorrow with the Dutters here on these streams too. So I can't wait to get back to the gaming now that travel season is over. And of course, Dave Podnar also contributes over on the Awesome Cast and has his own iPhoneography podcast if you're into techie things. And Dave's also
pretty much everywhere on social media is Prof Pod
all over the place, and you are very active on those as well. Thank you for that. I'm at Sorgatron. I will be in Cleveland, Ohio on Saturday for NWA Exodus Pro. You won't see me. I'll be behind production. But you're going to see some familiar faces at ringside doing camera this time. And then we will be again in Indiana for the aforementioned show with Bubba here. We'll be hanging out. I'll be on camera. It'll be fun. And then Thursday night, of course, Thursday Night Fights will be down there. I think we got some new faces helping out. If you are interested to become a video professional, you can message me at Sorgatron on any of the platforms, and we do have training on Thursdays. I think there's some new faces. If you're interested in shooting video for professional wrestling on back-end production, graphics, replays, all that kind of stuff, or anything else you want to do around wrestling, we are interested in people to learn live events, social media, as well as cinematography and things, slow motion, that kind of stuff. If anybody wants to have experience, get reps, learn how to do those things, please hit me up at Sorgatron on social media platforms. And I love that we're looking, and if you can get to New Kensington, Pennsylvania, is helpful too. To become part of the team there and get into professional wrestling. So, I mean, even the Rizz has done every position now. So, yeah.
Don't.
What?
You just put that on the internet, Sorg.
Well, yeah, Rizz is hire Rizz. Hashtag hire Rizz.
Rizz has been in every position.
Rizz has been
every position.
And Rizz has performed every position so well.
Every position so well. Only available, but you can see all the details only on the Only Rizz.
Yes.
Hashtag Only Rizz. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem is out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.